And yes, it also does feel too similar to other films that, certainly better films. And then, of course, the irony that the same company made Lord of the Rings later. That is strange. Then, of course, there's putting someone like Marlon Wayans or any of the Wayans brothers in here. That doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, Jeremy Irons' wonderfully over-the-top performance.
Government in Izmir will remain secure. Remove the scepter which lowers above our heads and destroy the threat of revolution for...
Now the CGI goes wrong.
I think they got this dragon on loan from How to Train Your CGI Artist.
The plot being very cliched. I mean, it just has so many things in it. As Doug said, it's a film where just everything goes wrong, and that's why it's such a glorious spectacle of bad cinema, really. And then, the various little parts that, Doug points out come from other movies, particularly all those instances from the Indiana Jones films. That's really interesting that they would have all those in one film like this. So yeah, not much else to say, but I mean, Doug definitely gave this film exactly what it had coming to it and making...
Can I get an amen?
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello,
Number 6.
I'm the Nostalgia...
The other animated Titanic movie. Oh my gosh, I mean, if you've seen the review, and just seeing, Doug's reaction to it, that was basically my reaction when I saw the title of this episode. I'm like, what? There's another animated Titanic movie? Just the utter disbelief of it all. And then the oddness, because I think it was pointed out somewhere that this one was actually made before the Rapping Dog animated Titanic movie. And yet, it's interesting how they both center around talking mice going on the boat and all this nonsense that goes on with it. And of course, this one, as Doug points out, is even more horrifically, disturbingly offensive to the actual event of the Titanic.
A lot of people died, huh? The truth of the matter is that those missing persons were never really missing. It's a long and complicated story.
Really?
It really makes you wonder, who comes up with these ideas? Who thinks like this? It is truly amazing, and then Doug did a very good job of analyzing this really just astoundingly bad animated film, and a very funny opening sketch to it, with Doug as Darth Vader and Rob showing off again his very wonderful Emperor Palpatine impression, which may come into play in the future. Like so many of these films on this list, and just how, as I've said before, these films being like this, the film has to be so bad that just showing clips of it speak for itself.
Have a roll call, if you please.
Aye, aye, sir. Mr. and Mrs. Angus Wallace Bruce McMouse. Mr. and Mrs. Porrig Liam O'Rat and 2 children. Juan and Evita Raton with offspring.
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
Ice, I have a message from the boss. Tail it and don't stray too far from the ship.
Tell them we're ready to destroy anything, anytime!
A truly, truly astounding animated one. Much like the first animated Titanic, I never heard of either of these, and so it's good that, Doug would bring such horrific films more into the public knowledge. The Neverending Story 3. Now this started off sequel month, and it got it off to a very good start, and this one and another one of the reviews in sequel month, which may or may not be coming up later, I think were the two best reviews of sequel month, as they were just really good. I mean, I haven't even seen the first two Neverending Story movies or read the book that's based off of, and I already feel offended by this sequel. I mean, yeah, as Doug put it in the opening, the Batman and Robin of sequels. I mean, wow. Rock fighter and motorbike and...
Get your motor running out the highway.
Jack Black and...
First off, that's Jack Black!
all this nonsense. I mean, characters not acting at all like they normally would. And it's one of Doug's longest reviews, but certainly hits all the points. I mean, no franchise deserves to have a sequel this bad. Yeah, how the plot doesn't make much sense related to the other two movies and all that. And yeah, so the sequel just comes out is a mess, and then at the end, when Doug gives the DVD the proper treatment it deserves, and earlier how he talks about how it's not jumping the shark, and it's doing all these terrible things with sharks, and it certainly got both 2011 off to a good start, and just sequel month off to a really good start as well. A really well executed bash of a sequel that no franchise deserves.
One down.
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello, I'm the
Number 4.
Nostalgia Critic.
The top 11 best Batman the Animated Series episodes. As I said before, the Reviewer Story arc, old versus new, and top 11 lists are all really good opportunities for Doug to express things, to talk and review things that he actually likes. And it's always so nice to just see Doug review something he likes to, because even if you've never seen it, like myself, you get drawn into it, and it makes you really want to see what he's reviewing, and that is completely the case here. I mean, this is one of the most, I felt, to me, the most engrossing episodes of the Nostalgia Critic, and certainly one of his best serious reviews, more serious, I mean, reviews. The way he talks about each episode, it just really makes me want to watch this series. It looks really good, and certainly I've heard it is really good, and the animation looks really great, and the stories and the characters and the way it works through the Batman mythology and all this, and just really how much Doug really has respect for this series. I mean, that's just really comes through with this episode too. And it's really, as I said, nice to see Doug, you know, as this character, the Nostalgia Critic, is always so bitter and angry at everything. It's just so nice to see him review something he actually likes. And yeah, it gets off to a funny start with him doing various Batman impressions.
This cartoon just showed you that it's full of people ready to believe in good.
Okay, that's not gonna work.
Some jokes scattered throughout this one, but mostly it's just about the analyzing these episodes and what makes them so good. It really makes you want to watch these episodes and really hooks you into this episode of the Nostalgia Critic. It's one of the best top 11 lists Doug has done, and certainly one of his best, more serious reviews that he's done. Which is why it gets the number 4 spot here.
Hello, hello,
Number 3, Return of the Nostalgia Critic commercials. I remember back in 2010, November, after reviewing My Pet Monster, Doug did his first review of commercials. Now, the first one, that was the best set up of these commercial episodes. There's been 3 so far. And then this one, the second one, Return of the Nostalgia Commercials, this is the funniest one. I mean, this, again, the commercials themselves are so ridiculous and all this. And these ones, I mean, there's just so many perfectly executed riffs on commercials in here. There's the Guess Who commercial, the Song of the South commercial, the...
Oh boy. Better enjoy this movie while you can, folks, because you will never see it in theaters again.
The Grape Escape commercial, the Aliens action figure commercial, yes, the Corn Pops commercial, call number commercials again, that just get to really ridiculous lengths in this episode, a lot more. And then, of course, the episode ends with
You and your Johnson.
It's the Wonder Boner.
I mean, even the last two, I mean, they sound like parody products that they do in an SNL sketch. But no, they're actual products, and Doug certainly makes fun of the absurdity of it all. And again, good film clip references in there, especially a really good Pulp Fiction joke that he got from someone else, actually credited at the end of the episode. And there's also a funny appearance by the con goers at one of the cons Doug was at. So it's just a really, really funny collection of really great riffs on some really bizarre advertising.
Wonder Boner? Really?
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello,
Number 2,
I'm the Nostalgia.
The Secret of Nim 2. Now, as I said earlier in this one, I mean, the Neverending Story 3, that was probably the best episode of sequel month, definitely. And yet, when I think back to the one I probably laughed the most at, it was probably Secret of Nim 2. Just might have been maybe slightly high. I mean, I can't really officially rank these in terms of humor, but I just think back to the Secret of Nim 2 review, and that was, you know, that was definitely the second best review in sequel month. And yet, I don't know, I seem to like it maybe a bit more than Secret of the Neverending Story 3 review, somewhat, I don't know. But, I mean, again, it's such a poorly executed sequel to a really good movie, The Secret of Nim, which, of course, Doug has talked of on the show before. And then she turns into this, and not to mention some of the odd casting in the film. William H. Macy randomly is the voice of the one. That's just one of, you know, I could probably make a top 11 list of just the best jokes from the Secret of Nim 2 review, because there's so many. There's the ones about, you know, raising the expectations for Timmy. Oh, of course, Timmy. Secret of Nim 2, Timmy to the rescue, and all that, and the Timmy applying to Harvard part, and then, you know, you sure couldn't tell when a brick was gonna fall and turn him into a pancake, and all this. And then, of course, in the third act, it just goes completely crazy with Eric Idle, and then, of course, that introduced me to the Just Say Yes song, which is really catchy and funny to listen to, and